diving into 5 common photography problems and how to fix them. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm Anshu and I have been a photographer for over 15 years now. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please do consider doing so. It helps me immensely to continue making videos like this. Have you ever come across a situation where you have taken pictures and the pictures were not perfect in terms either it was blurry, out of focus, or it was overexposed or probably underexposed? Well, in that case, you're not alone, and there are several issues like this which I have faced constantly in my photography journey. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 most common photography problem or issues, and I will also tell you how to fix them. In addition to these 5, I also have 2 bonus problems, though they are a little advanced, but I also wanted to discuss about them today. So stick around till the end and let's dive in. The most common issue which you will encounter is having blurry images. Now, this is something which I face on a day-to-day basis. There are several reasons why you ended up with a blurry shot. Either you were using a very slow shutter, or your camera was not stable enough to capture the still image, or it could also be that you were not able to focus on your subject which you intended to have the focus on. So we'll tackle all these 3 issues and I'll show you exactly how to fix them. The first one could be the most easy to eliminate once you have had that practice and you understand how shutter works. So I have also discussed a little bit about this in one of my videos, which you can also check out here. So the best way how to learn and see how shutter impacts your images is by experimenting. So usually if you are going with a shutter, say less than 1/250th of second or probably 1/300 of second, you will get blurry images, or you will have your subject having that kind of a streaky image. So try to go for a higher shutter speed in case if you are shooting during the daytime, which obviously is definitely possible. So try to first experiment with a higher shutter speed, say 1/1000 of a second, and then decrease your shutter if you think that your image is kind of getting underexposed. In some situations, you may not have an option to increase your shutter because you are shooting, say for example, in low light situation. So in that situation, the best option is to start experimenting with the exposure triangle. So try to vary your aperture and ISO in your relation with the shutter speed, and then you can see what exposure works well for you. In scenario where actually you didn't observe any motion blur, but still your photos are blurry and not very sharp, then it could be because of the camera shake. So one of the best option to avoid camera shake is use your camera with a tripod. One of the other reasons why your subject is also not in focus could be because you were not able to focus on your subject, but instead you focused on something, say, in the foreground or the background. These days, most of the camera have very advanced autofocusing systems, so try to make use of them. So I would say the best rule of thumb should be, if you are actually photographing say a subject like people or even pet, then these days camera have that option of eye detection, which will enable the focus on the eye. I I do a lot of still life photography, and most of the time I have to have a accurate focus, say, on one aspect of the still life. So it could be a food element, or it could be the subject which I'm photographing. So the best focusing mode which I feel works really well for this style of photography is to use a single point autofocus. So I'm going to give you an example of a still life and show you how you can always nail the focus. As you can see, this tiny rectangle is red, which shows that area is not in focus. But using my zoom ring, I will try to adjust the zoom, and those blue highlight is actually where my current focus is. So the camera will give me an indication of that focus, and I'm just adjusting so that I can get the focus now on the berries, which is kind of where I want the focus to be retained. And once it turns into a green square, it means my berries are in focus. But I still can go ahead and zoom on the berries to accurately pinpoint which of the berries I want the focus to be. So as you can see, the focus is on the berry behind. That is not something which I want. So I'm changing the zoom ring, and I think, yeah, this is probably right. I want the focus to be on the front two candies there. Let me just adjust it again. And the blue highlight is showing me where the focus is going to be. So this seems to be about right. I want these two candies to be in focus. And let me take a snap now. So I also wanted to show another example of focus peaking, which is when you can use your camera's manual inbuilt. As you move your aperture ring, it will show which areas are in focus. So I want to focus on this toy, and probably this is the perfect, yeah. So once this toy is in focus, problem number 2 is either your image is overexposed or underexposed. So the best way in order to have that perfectly exposed image is understanding the relationship between your shutter, aperture and ISO, which is quite key. For example, if your image is getting underexposed, then try decreasing your shutter speed. Or you can also reduce your f number, say something like 1.8 or 2.8 could actually let more light inside your camera. Try to utilize some of your camera's features which will actually help you nail the exposure most of the time. So one of the features is histogram. Especially if you're shooting in a very bright condition, you may not be able to see the LCD properly and judge the exposure of your scene. So if you enable your histogram on your camera, you can understand whether your image is getting overexposed or underexposed. Usually, if the image is having too many highlights that's getting clipped, it means that you're having pure white areas, then your histogram will tend to shift on the right. And if your histogram tends to shift on the left side, it means you're getting more of black areas in your images. So having a balanced histogram somewhere in between is the ideal, and it will show that your image is kind of perfectly exposed. Issue number 3 is when your color seems to be off, in terms of like your colors look very strange. Either they are too blue, too green, too purple, or maybe too yellow. The best way to fix that is to adjust the white balance. And I have also talked about white balance in some of my other videos. So if you're a beginner, the best way in terms of adjusting the white balance is something you should be going with that particular mode of weather. So for example, if you're shooting in a, say, cloudy environment, then go with a cloudy white balance. If you're shooting in direct sunlight or in a very sunny situation, then go with sunlight white balance. So these white balances are kind of guides which will actually give you that perfect color, or maybe something very similar to natural looking colors. The other tip also to have the perfect white balance is try to shoot in RAW, because if you're shooting images in RAW, then you can post process your images in absolutely any way you like. So you can change the color, you can change the temperature of your image perfectly and very easily when you are editing your RAW files. The next issue is blown out highlights. I know this is a very common issue, and I also talked about this a little earlier in this video. So blown out highlights is when parts of your images are completely pure white in color. So you didn't intend to expose it to, say, a complete white where you will not be able to see any detail in that part of the image. One of the cool features which I like on the Nikon camera, and I'm sure there is an equivalent on the other brands, is also you can enable highlight alerts. In this example itself, I wanted to show how you can enable the highlight alerts. So what we'll do is, I have kept it on a quick access button. So I will go to highlights, display threshold, and say on. So now you can see is that I have these areas which are like hashed areas. These shows the overexposed area, and what we'll do is, because I now have a guideline to see, so as I increase my shutter, the exposure, the overexposed area is actually increasing. Now probably to balance it to some effect, I am going to reduce this, and maybe this is something probably all right now, and I don't have overexposed blown out highlights, and this could be, so I have identified 1/4000 of a shutter, and this is what I'll click, and this will be my ideal exposure. But still you can see that this is still underexposed. So maybe I will again experiment with my, and this is the one which I'll get the image. So the final issue, and this is something which I actually face a lot, is your fast moving subject. So for example, if you're clicking a action shot, they are out of focus. So if I'm trying to, say, for example, go ahead and click a photo of my daughter playing and running around, then most of the time I have to take multiple images to make sure that the focus was on her rather than on something else in the background. So there are a couple of ways in which you can always nail the focus on a moving subject. So the first way is to shift to continuous autofocus, which is the AFC mode in most of the cameras. So what it does is the camera will try to continuously focus on your subject irrespective of whether it's moving or not. So most of the time, probably at least say 80 or 90% of the time, your focus will be bang on the subject, but there could be misses because sometimes your subject is moving very fast. So I promised you a couple of bonus issues as well and how to fix them. So here it is. Now this issue is very, very common, and it is something again I face on my everyday photography. So this issue is when your perspective seems off. Now most of the time there could be a leading line or maybe horizontal lines, vertical lines in your images, and trying to keep them aligned could be little difficult. A lot of wide angle lenses, which are, say for example 20mm or 14mm lenses, will introduce a distortion in your image. So let's first talk about what you can do in the camera itself. Now there are a lot of features, I would say, which are enabled on your modern days camera, which can ensure that your perspective are always correct. So the first is you can always enable the grid on your camera, and this is also something which I have talked about, is enabling the grid on a mobile phone, which you can also check it out this video over here. In some of the cameras you also have an option of enabling the electronic guide level. So what it does is it will give you an indication whether your image is tilted or your perspective is not correct. If you want to keep your image leveled, then look for that green line, which will ensure or will tell you that your perspective is kind of aligned. The next and the final issue which I wanted to talk about was chromatic aberration. Now, chromatic aberration happens when your lens fail to focus different wavelength of light at the same spot, and which will cause some kind of a color fringing around very high contrast edges, which is like purple lines which you will get in the images. Most of the time it may not be noticeable if you have an image which is evenly distributed in terms of your contrast, then you may not even notice that. And unfortunately, there are very limited things which you can do in the camera apart from going ahead and increasing your f number. That's maybe shooting at, say, anything larger than f4 or f5 could ensure that you're not getting that chromatic aberration. In case if this is very noticeable in your photos, you can always go ahead and fix that in your software as well. And that wraps the top 5 photography troubleshooting techniques and how to fix them. Have you experienced any of these issues before when you're photographing, or is there something else, some kind of other challenges which you face when you're clicking snaps? Do leave me a comment below. I'll be more than happy to look into it, and if I can try to address them as well. And please do consider subscribing to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and also hit that notification button. I will see you in another video. Till then, happy clicking. Bye.